Time to get tearing into the old 777. Get it ready for race week or drag week, whatever it's got in store, but big plans ahead. Let's get started. Well, it took a little bit of work, but I basically got the ship out of the bottle, so to speak. Got that sweet water pipe cage out of here. Took a little bit of work, but now Derek has a nice little art piece that he can keep around just to remember how nice this thing was. What a unit. Also found a neat little surprise. The original gauge is still in there. It was covered in paint. Oh, that's my head. I just noticed that the original gauge looked like it was in there, and then it realized it had a crack. So then I just started scraping with a razor blade. Pretty neat. Fuel gauge, water temp, battery, and I assume oil pressure. A lot of work to do, but this is a nice clean slate. One of the first things I did was make some hood struts, since I didn't really have any, and that'll help not have to worry about this thing falling down on my head while I'm reaching around in here. It's just some 5/16 aluminum rod, bent it up, and that'll work good. Probably make something that maybe can hold it on here while it's not in use. But yeah, still got to make a grill out of the same stuff, I think. Fancy it up a little bit. Well, another beautiful day on the old 777. Just kind of doing a little bit more investigative surgery here. This old trim piece, this silk piece here, was hiding some really nice stuff, and there's really nothing connecting that. That's actually right here, so that's nice. But I'm going to take this floor out, and then when I do the cage I can make a new subfloor, and it'll be a lot better. And I can probably tie both door areas into the cage. This side too, I'll tie into the cage. And I can maybe, this door never really shut. It kind of had a little bit of an overbite. And I can probably, I could probably get that back because this just moves all over the damn place. So I can probably pull that and then tie it into the cage, and then I should be able to get that back to closing, which will be nice. But yeah, just keep at it. All right, over here on the passenger side, same kind of deal. A little bit more metal here, but there is, I don't know if you can see it, there's a crack, and when you move the door, it gets bigger. So it had a rough life of being, for the most part, solid mounted dirt tracking, I'm sure. But yeah, once I get this all tied in, the whole pillar will be with the cage, and that'll be nice. All right, got the floor out. Kind of take a look at the bones, or lack thereof, in this thing. Looks like the old timer put some U-channel on there. Some original rusty stuff. Yeah. Gonna have to probably cut all this out and build it back. But not a big deal, because gotta get a new trans in here. Figure out how that, make room for that in the shifter. And just build back. And then get a firewall, a rear firewall. That nice little shock tower scenario is probably going to change, but just keep picking away. Just take it in. Also, look at this fancy thing. To say we have our work cut out for us might not be enough. but it's going to be sweet. All right, this is some high-tech stuff you don't just see everywhere. I don't want to give this old guy's secrets away, but if you don't have angle iron track bars and some 1/4 inch cable, you know, for that side-to-side action, you're doing it wrong. I mean, this guy didn't win races for nothing. I mean, that's high-tech. Just getting started with some rough measurements for the main hoop. It'll go right, haven't figured out exactly where, if it's going to go right about in the middle of the window, kind of where the old one was. I'd like to follow this B-pillar so you don't really see it from the outside. It just follows this and comes down, but it all depends on driver seating position, and it's looking like so far it's going to be a little further back, kind of like where it was. So unfortunately I won't be able to gain as much headroom as if I were to come over to the B-pillar, but we will make it work. Also, the closer I get to where the old one was, the easier it's going to be to tie my old Nerf bar tubes back in. That'll be much easier. Plan is to also bring some tubes forward and kind of add like a 12th point to the front of the car. Probably cross it up, you know, front, maybe even over the top. We'll have to figure out if we're going to make the engine come out from the bottom or out the nose yet. We might have to make all this stuff easily removable, but it needs to be safe. This thing's got to be able to hit a wall and not just be a pop can or soda can, whatever you're from. I'll also come through this firewall, will probably change, and rear tubes will come in and sit back on this frame, and I'll probably, same thing, X this up back here for rigidity, and I think we're maybe doing a different fuel cell, not sure. The firewall, we kind of have a plan of when this gets some coilovers that we kind of keep that inside the rear trunk firewall so that we can get at them instead of having to crawl into the car. Need to figure that out. That would be kind of slick. And I got a phone call. One of the first things I got to do before I start the cage is I need to sit on some outriggers right between here off the frame. That way I can tack those in, weld the cage to the top of that, remove those tacks, drop it down, and then that way the cage can sit lowered. I can weld everything 360 and then pull it back up and fully weld these boxes or outriggers in, and that's all good to go there. Otherwise, if I went off this frame, I'd have to kick way in and up, and I wouldn't be able to drop it like I really want to. With a frame or a body on frame car, you got to go right to the frame. If this was a, you know, full-bodied normal car where you can just use the plates, it'd be a lot easier, but this is what we're working with. All right, got an idea for doing my little frame outriggers for the cage. Got a template cut out. Try to see how many I can get under. I actually only need 2 because I think I'm gonna have to change it for the back 2, or I should say the front 2, because the frame kind of narrows. But cut these out on the bandsaw. Probably could do it on the plasma cutter, but you know, that would be too easy. One quick little thing, if you got a small shop or you just don't need a giant bandsaw or whatever, you need to get yourself one of these Swag Off-Road little bandsaw tables. Takes a portaband. This is a sweet Harbor Freight one, but you know, they got it for Milwaukee, DeWalt, blah blah blah, but they are super slick. You can still take it off and use it like a portaband, but man, this thing has come in handy tenfold. It's paid for itself. So you got small space, or even just, I mean, I've used this more than I probably would a big bandsaw no matter what, so definitely pick one up if you don't have one. I was just about to say, this thing could probably use a new blade, because it's going way slower than I want to be going. So, we're going to do that. Oh yeah, there's You might want a few more teeth than that. Ignore my giant pile of hoarded grinding wheels, but yeah, it's just a little thumb turn underneath here. Well, it slides off, the bed stays on here. Super slick, but let's change this blade and get back to work. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, it's basically a butter knife. This side's got some teeth. Yeah, it was about time. Boom. Sometimes you can lean it up and sheet the last little cut if you don't get there. Just be careful. All right, now I got all 4 of my plates cut out of some 1/4 inch sheet, or plate I should say, and clean these up. And now I need to basically turn these into 3D shape. All right, just got done playing human forklift, getting this piece of 1/4 inch plate from over there. Hopefully these little guys hold up. But I need to cut out some more plate to make my sides now. So I'll probably get the plasma cutter out and get some rough chunks cut out of here, and then I might finish it up on the bandsaw just because I like the cuts a lot cleaner. All right, I got a couple of my pieces cut out. Now I just need to clean them up and trim them, get some of the dross off there. All right, starting to get this thing tacked together. Just need to make this one and this one, and weld it all up. Leave this back side open. This is the side that'll hit the frame and weld all the way around. All right, got this thing fully tacked in. I'm just gonna weld it up. All right, if we pretend that this is the frame rail in the car, basically this thing is just gonna sit like this. This thing is still incredibly hot, and it'll get welded all the way around, and then the cage will sit on top. All right, well that about does it for this first video. I'll get more into the cage and stuff in the second video, but I got to cut it off somewhere. So yeah, keep up on the episodes. We'll just keep working on that. I could probably work on this for at least a couple months. It's going to be a big project, so there'll be a few episodes. So come back, check them out, subscribe so you can be up on what's going on. But for now, take it easy and see you in the next one.